Small World Vacations is proud to sponsor today's podcast. Their team of 40 agents are authorized Disney vacation planners and are recommended by MouseSavers.com. They're dedicated to your dreams and your dollars. Get your free price quote at WDWVacations.com. Small World Vacations, where the magic begins. This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, June 4th, 2007, and this is episode 265 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg of MGMstudios.org. On the show today is, Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Hooter! We're almost there.
All right, for a second, I thought this was going in an X-rated direction. I'll let it pass. Where's that from?
Captain Muppets.
Yeah, Captain Muppets. I'll accept that. Captain Muppets.
Who was it from, really?
Captain EO.
Do you have that on Mouse World Radio? No, the fans did not like it one bit.
That's right. Take it off. I don't want World of Motion. Get it off there. Need this old stuff on here.
Sorry.
Also on the show today is Len Testa, co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding.
Awesome.
And also on the show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Starting tomorrow, I'm turning Studio Central Radio into the World of Motion channel.
Yeah, okay.
Nice. I'm there, baby.
Yes.
It's fun to be free.
Oh, God. On today's show, we're talking about selecting ticket options for your first trip to Walt Disney World, and this is really just part of a series of episodes on planning your trip to Walt Disney World. And, it's a good primer episode for anyone who's interested in figuring out, what's the best ticket options to choose, because it's not like how it used to be back in the day, back when Scopa, first erected that first, tablet back at Stonehenge. I mean, it's really.
Hey, I do have those ticket books. I have the A, B, C, D, E's. I still have them.
See, really?
For Stonehenge?
Yep.
For Stonehenge. That's what I thought he was.
They're on Rosetta Stone.
But I mean, with Walt Disney World, there are so many different ticket options that they have now. I mean, how many days should I get? Should I be expiration? Should I have no expiration? Should I get the water parks? So let's start with. I mean, a lot of this is all.
Start with the basic ticket.
All right, basic ticket. But again, you obviously have your base ticket, and assuming that this is your, it's hard to even where to start because is this going to be your one trip for the year and in a calendar year?
Let's start with the basics. The simplest ticket you can buy is what's called a Magic Your Way base ticket, and you buy them in lengths of 1 to 10 days. And a 1-day ticket is good to enter one park. That's as many times as you want for that day, so you could leave at lunch and come back after your midday break. But it's good for one park for 1 day. A 10-day Magic Your Way ticket is the longest Magic Your Way ticket you can buy, and it's good for entering one park one time every day for 10 days. So you can, and again, you can still come and go to the same park that same day. So if you went to the Magic Kingdom on day one, you could leave at lunchtime and come back to the Magic Kingdom that same day. You couldn't go to another park, though, because that would be something called park hopping, which we'll explain shortly. On day 2, however, you could go to Epcot, leave Epcot, and come back to Epcot that same day as many times as you wanted to. And you could do the same thing for days 3 through 10. You can go to one park, leave, and come back to that same park the same day. That's the least expensive ticket that you can get. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-day ticket.
That's right.
Then it starts getting interesting because Disney has all these a la carte options you can add to it.
Right. Let's start with the most common a la carte option, Len, which I would wager to guess is going to be the park hopping option.
Park hopping is probably the most common option. I believe it's around $48, including tax.
That's including tax. Yep.
and it's no matter if you buy 1 day or a 10-day pass, it's the same $48 cost. And what that allows you to do is visit as many parks as you want in a given day.
Right. So you can go, day 1, you go to the Magic Kingdom for an hour, leave. Go to Animal Kingdom for an hour, leave. And you can go to all 4 theme parks in 1 day, and unlimited admission to any of those 4 theme parks in 1 day.
Right.
Now, with park hopping, Mike Scopa, when do you tell someone it's worth it to get park hopping?
When they ask me, when they ask me, would it be better for them to stay in a park for one whole day and go on a park, one park per day touring plan, or should they think about splitting up the day? And when they come up with that option of splitting up the day, to me, it sounds like there is something in the back of their minds that's telling them maybe they don't want to spend an entire day in a park. And believe me, I agree with that. You don't want to spend an entire day in the park, because what happens is that at a certain point you really become tired of that park and you need something to lift you up. Going back to your hotel room midday, or even going from one park to another park will re-energize you. So most of the time, I suggest very strongly to get the park hopper option. Of course, I wouldn't get it for the 1 day Magic Your Way base ticket, because then that ticket costs something like $120 for 1 day. But I think, Matt, that when someone is thinking about that, it could be a little tiring to be in one park for 1 day. Because let's face it, there's a certain point where you would get tired of that park, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's time to consider the park hopper option. I can never see myself just going to one park whenever I'm down there. I'm always at least 2 parks in 1 day.
So what's the next option then, Len?
It's probably something called the no expiration option, which we probably didn't describe fully how the
That's right.
base Magic Your Way ticket works. But the way it works is this: you buy a 10-day ticket, and you buy a ticket, any Magic Your Way base ticket. If you buy just a plain vanilla ticket, the ticket will expire 14 days after it is first used. So if you bought, let's say, a 7-day ticket on June 1st, you would have to use all 7 days of admission by June 15th. Otherwise, you would lose whatever admission days you purchased, because the ticket would expire. For a lot of people, like to buy the full 10-day ticket, because one of the other things we didn't mention originally when we talked about this is, as you buy more days on the ticket, the incremental cost of each additional day drops significantly. So I think the first day of the Magic Your Way ticket is somewhere around $72 plus tax. But by the time you start adding on day 10 to the ticket, it's only like $2 more for that incremental day. And so there's sort of a sliding scale where day 1 it costs you $70-some, day 2 costs you like $65, day 3 costs you like around $50-some, day 4 it costs you even less, yada yada yada, all the way down to like day 10, which I think costs you like $2.
Right, over day 9.
So what a lot of people will do is, if they know that they're going to Disney World twice in 2 years, let's say for 5 days each, they'll buy a 10-day ticket instead of 2 5-day tickets, because it's much cheaper to buy a single 10-day ticket than 2 5-day tickets. And they'll buy this no expiration option, which will allow the ticket to not to expire after 14 days.
But
And if you understand that, please write to me, because I didn't get any of that.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, Len says he's given everybody the information that they need, that there is the option of buying that no expiration option that allows you to, okay, I'm not going to be able to use up all my days, so I'm going to be able to use it next year. However, let's say you do buy that 10-day ticket, which costs $230 before the park hopper. If you add the park hopper to that ticket now becomes $278. Now you add that the no expiration, which is another $155 to that $270. So now we're talking close to annual pass levels. So that's something that brings to mind that anyone who's really considering going down for the very first time has to sit back and consider exactly what kind of touring habits they're going to be utilizing when they're down there. How many days will they be visiting the parks, and will they be visiting more than one park in a day? If someone going down for the first time can accurately gauge what they will need for tickets, then they won't have to worry about that no expiration, because as as you go down the line, for instance, if you buy a 4-day ticket, the no expiration option is $40. If you buy a 7-day ticket, that no expiration option is now an extra $90.
Right.
All the way up to $155. So, I mean, it really, the way that they have their ticket options now, I mean, it really gives a lot of people a chance to really customize it, but it also makes it important for them to sit back and think about exactly how they see their vacation.
Yeah, you're laying out money ahead of time, which is really, you're taking the hit now as opposed to, those 5 days later. The other thing to keep in mind is even if you're not going back next year, like Len said, perhaps, you at some point in your life, you're probably going back. Maybe you go every 2 or 3 years. And the thing is, if you buy that 10-day ticket, but only use, 4 and buy the no expiration date, that'll leave you with that 6 days left on the ticket. In 2 or 3 years when you come back, the price you paid for those days are going to be significantly less than what the tickets are going to cost in 2 or 3 years because the price of tickets just go up every single year.
That's a good point. So let's talk about that for a second. So one of the things we did in the last edition of the unofficial guide is we looked at what the average percent increase has been in Disney tickets from 2004 through 2007. So we'll give you some comparisons here. Wages in the United States have gone up 4.7% since 2004. The U.S. Consumer Price Index, which is the aggregate cost of a typical shopping cart of goods in the U.S., is like 7.4%. A Disney annual pass has gone up 14.5% in that time. A Disney Kids 7-day park hopper ticket, 30%. The Disney Kids 4-day park hopper, 44%. The only thing that's gone up more in terms of cost since 2004 is the price of a gallon of gasoline. But if you look at that, it's like the average Disney ticket price increase is somewhere around 26%, which means it's gone up by a quarter in the last 3 years. And the only thing that's increased that much, I mean, house prices, there's all this talk about a housing bubble and all that stuff. House prices have only increased 16.5% over the last 4 years. The only thing that's gone up anywhere near as much is gas.
That just shows you what I mean. There are a lot of people who always, who come down there with old tickets from, 2000 or even the 90s.
They're making it like bandits. I mean, you look at the money that they save; it's incredible.
I mean, there's like really, you could buy tickets today, and the value, they're an investment because in 4 or 5 years, the longer you wait, the more value you're going to get out of those tickets. But of course, you're taking the hit now. You're paying the money now for something that you're not actually using, and for some people, it's hard to do that.
Right. There's the opportunity cost, right, of investing in tickets versus stocks or art or Chinese mutual funds or whatever.
Chinese mutual funds, a commonly traded item on
most
Americans.
Yeah.
Especially a bubble in the Chinese market too. But anyway.
So what's the next option that we've got on the tickets there? We've had no expiration, park hopper. What's another a la carte option?
The water parks fun and more is always another option.
Why don't you explain what that is first?
So what it is it allows you to visit Disney's water parks, and that's Pleasure Island and Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. A certain number of times, depending on the length of your
stay.
Ticket.
Yeah.
So I think the minimum number of pluses is 2, 3.
I think it's 3, Len.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 now, right? So, that's right. Sorry, it's 3. So if you buy a 1-day park hopper, if you buy a 1-day base ticket, a 2-day base ticket, or a 3-day base ticket, you'll get 3 admissions to the water parks, to Disney Quest or to Pleasure Island. If you get a 4 or 5 day pass, you get 4 of those admissions. A 6-day pass gets you 5 admissions, and any other ticket, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, gets you 6 admissions, which is really strange because that's a lot of activity.
Yeah. It is, and that's really the issue with this option in general. It's not so much that what does it run, Len, for the water parks and more option?
It's a flat just over $53, including tax.
Which isn't a bad deal when you look at it, but just on that, because you're getting all that for $50.
Well, here's the thing, though. So if you're going for 4 or 5 days and you want to visit one water park or do one of those activities, Disney will sell you the water park fun and more add-on, but that's not the least expensive option. The least expensive option is to buy that admission separately, and that's sort of the key the key rule. If you get nothing else out of this podcast, it's if you're only going to do one of those outside the theme park activities, it's cheaper to buy the basic Magic Your Way ticket and separate admission to that thing, rather than adding on this water park fun and more option. That's more expensive if you're only doing one thing.
That's a great tip. I learned something today. And of course, even like you said, even if it works out to your advantage where you're going for a longer period of time and you're getting these admission things, you've got to also work it in between going to the parks and going and using your water park tickets. If you're getting no expiration, it's a little bit easier because you always know, okay, well, I can save it.
That's a great point, because suppose you bought the 10-day base ticket and it expires 14 days after you use it. That's going to come with 6 admissions to the water parks, Disney Quest, or Pleasure Island. That's 16 activities you have to fit somehow into 14 days.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a lot. Which means you're doing either a theme park during the day and in Disney Quest or Pleasure Island at night several times during that trip, in addition to complete full days at the theme park, which we're paying for anyway. That's a lot of stuff to do.
Hey, I can tell you, I've been going to Disney World for 31 years, and I don't think I could figure out a way to do that. So I can't imagine a first timer doing it.
That's more like basic training that it does.
I know.
It's a lot to do in one day, let alone over the course of a trip, because day one is easy. Everyone's got all the energy in the world. It's fine. But when you get to day 4 or 5 and you've just been in the theme parks every single day, I mean, you're waking up early, you're going to sleep late, you're walking like crazy in the parks, it's not easy at all.
Sounds like MouseFest.
So certainly I think what it sounds like is that if you're going to get the water parks and more option, it might behoove you to get the no expiration option, simply because it's just going to be very difficult for you to get your money's worth in terms of what you paid for and not die in the middle of the path somewhere.
Right.
Now we've got time for a little bit, just a few more things over here. Those are the major options on to add on to the annual pass, to the Magic Your Way pass.
Right.
There's a number of smaller ticket options that are available. You've got the water parks 1-day option, which you mentioned, Len. That of course provides you 1-day admission to one of the water parks, either Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. There's a water park annual pass, which provides you admission to all the water parks for 1 year, and that runs about $106. Probably good for locals or someone who comes out quite a bit. There's the whole annual pass thing, which is something that we can't really cover here. We're going to just focus on the Magic Your Way.
There's one more, Matt.
Yep.
There's one more that we're forgetting. I think that there's a combo ticket, Park Hopper and a Water Park Fun combo that you can add to your base ticket. And I think that is something like about $100. It's a flat rate. And what it gives you is it gives you the benefits of both the Park Hopper and the Water Park Fun and More options. So if you buy that combo, which is $100, and let's say you have an 8-day Magic Your Way ticket, that means that you can park hop and you can also use your Water Park and Fun options for the combined price of $101. Now that can work to your advantage if you have all the number of schemes and you figure out how to make the most of your money. But that's an option that people may not be aware of, that they should at least put down on paper what they think they're going to need, and they may be saving a few dollars if they go with that option.
That's a good idea.
And of course, beyond that, you're starting to get down to some tickets that are available, although not really commonly used. There's the Disney Quest 1-day park ticket. There's the Cirque du Soleil tickets. There's a pass to Disney's Wide World of Sports. The Pleasure Island single-day pass. There's the Pleasure Island annual pass. So there's a number of these little smaller options. Again, not commonly used, so I wouldn't really worry about them unless you really are interested in doing, say, Disney Quest or Pleasure Island. And of course, these 1-day things are best if you're only going to be using that and the parks and nothing else, because otherwise, then perhaps you need to look back at the water parks and more pass option to add on to your ticket, because then you're getting it built in with Disney Quest, Pleasure Island, and water parks.
One more thing, I just did a quick computation, and if you have a Magic Your Way ticket of 6 days or more, and you want to do water park and park hopper, then this combo works for you. But you need to have at least a 6-day ticket in order for you to make out on the deal.
Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us questions at wdwtoday.com, or lend us Mike Scopa and Mike Newell. I'm Matt Hodgeberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Small World Vacations is proud to sponsor today's podcast. Their team of 40 agents are authorized Disney vacation planners and are recommended by MouseSavers.com. They're dedicated to your dreams and your dollars. Get your free price quote at wdwvacations.com. Small World Vacations, where the magic begins.
Tell Washington, lower the Internet radio royalty rate. SaveNetRadio.org.